Welcome back, everybody. This is Sarcasm Speaks. Jared and Bob here. This is game one of a doubleheader for us. So it is Sunday early afternoon, early evening, I should say, late afternoon. We just wrapped up the U.S. Open at Pinehurst, and Bryson DeChambeau just won. Lot of things going on here. So I have an initial thought, right? And then I'm going to follow it up with maybe it's too much of a knee-jerk reaction, and then I want to see what you think about it. So my initial knee-jerk is, wow, what a couple of bums that no one can close, right? Because both Bryson and Rory missed very short putts, like multiple times towards the end leading up. I mean, Bryson hit his short putt on 18, Rory did not, but they both missed short putts in the holes leading up to that. So, you and I have been going back and forth being like, oh, what a bunch of bums. I had said Ludwig, officially a bum from now on, can't close, right? A guy that can't close. He put it in the water on 11 at Augusta, and he shot 5 over today or something like that. Just don't come at me. Yeah, Ludwig is talented. Sure. Yeah, absolutely talented. All the talent in the world. But to quote you, talent doesn't win tournaments. So I'm gonna put the can't win, can't close tag on Ludwig.
So hold on before you move on. All I'm going to tell you, he has 2 wins in less than 1 year as pro. So that I don't
Right.
agree with you on Ludwig, but he is definitely overhyped. So
Right.
we can button it there because
Okay.
he can win and he
Right.
played well.
I meant I said can't win a major, right? Or not yet.
Yeah.
Not yet,
Well,
right? He's
not for
also
nothing.
still what, 22?
He's only been in 3 majors.
Yeah.
He
Yeah.
didn't even get into US Opens and shit as an AM or
This
win
was
the
his first US Open. Yeah.
It's been his first of each
Yeah.
so far.
Yeah. So
So
will he win a major? Yeah, of course. Will he win multiple majors? Yeah, most likely. Right. He's
yeah,
certainly talented enough.
that's
But
why right now to write him off as can't win, I think is too soon. But yeah, I mean they're talking about him
right.
they'll talk about him at the Open Championship
Right. Right.
because he's good, but
Yeah.
I
But he's not
mean
going to win.
he's not major good yet.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's the thing is yet, right? I'm not saying he's a loser, nobody, but he's just not there yet, right? He's young. This is his first full year still on the tour. He just turned pro last summer. So yeah, so back to my original point, right? Was what a bunch of bums, right? Rory, Bryson missing putts, doing the whole thing. Um, Now my follow-up to that is that part of Pinehurst, right? Is it not just part of just being at a US Open, but is it part of Pinehurst, right? That is a very difficult course. It's potentially one of the hardest courses that they play on out of their entire whatever you want to call it, the rotary, right? Of all the rotary of however many courses there are, if there's 79, 80 courses, whatever it is that they play through and over the course of a 10-year period, probably it's 1000% in the top 5. It could potentially be the hardest course that they play on in the rotary.
So if there was no wind, because wind at Shinnecock makes that place impossible.
Right.
So if there's no wind and it's just the golf course, because it's the same thing with Pebble. If that wind blows, they could fucking shoot a million.
Right.
Pinehurst, if it's not the hardest, it at least presents them with something that's so different, than what they're used to. Because those greens are really just fucking insane. And it's hard, greens that are like that. Yeah, I mean, they break a lot on 4-footers. They lip out hard at the cup.
Right.
Don't be above the hole. Yeah, there's a reason they fucking say that on the old Donnie Ross.
Right.
Because that was the thing on 18, Roars was above the cup. One of the guys said that.
Yeah. Yeah. And I said that to Amy.
Bryson
So
below the
obviously
cup.
she was upset, right? Because she likes Rory. and he blew it on 18. But I told her, right, when they played the replay, I go, that's insane. They said it was a 3-foot 9-inch putt, right? On the view, when you're directly behind Rory, you could see he was lined up like just outside the left edge of the cup, right? So he's outside of the cup from less than 4 feet away. The putt broke so much, it missed off the right edge of the cup. So a less than 4-foot putt broke 2 cups worth, right, of distance in less than 4 feet. Like that's a hard fucking putt to make, right? So yeah,
Well,
and
and
that's kind of my opening thought, right? Is did he blow it? Yeah, I mean on the surface, yeah, he did, but
yes, he
like
did.
it also doesn't help that Pinehurst is just really fucking hard.
Yeah, it also give you we also have no frame of reference because they never play. They play a US Open course once a year. A US
Right.
Open course and setup.
Right.
Now, you might get a regular PGA Tour course that gets bad weather or where they just play the Memorial.
Yeah.
It was like scoring wasn't crazy there.
Right.
Yeah, the Memorial can be tough, but it's not like this.
Right.
Like, and we have no frame of reference for this type of shit because they never ever play courses that have 4-footers with break.
Right.
Or, and I don't know if the USGA play. So the USGA probably has some type of rule in place, but like the PGA Tour has a rule where it's like 3 feet in the cup, it can't break more than whatever, like 6 inches or something.
Yeah.
Like the green needs to, I'm sorry, the cup needs to be in a relatively like flat spot. I don't know if the USGA has that same rule. Now the USGA probably has something similar, but they probably allow for a little bit more because the US Open courses, especially the classic ones or the older ones, um like that's part of it, man.
Yeah.
Like the few Donald Ross courses I've played, it's fucking crazy. Some of these
Yeah.
greens. It's
Yeah.
absolutely fucking stupid playing some of these greens.
Shout out to
And
Merrimack Valley Country Club.
say shout out to Plymouth. Although, fuck Plymouth.
Yeah.
And it's like it's absolutely stupid playing some of these
Yeah.
holes. And we never see that. Like even like Valhalla. Like Valhalla is nothing, dude.
Yeah.
It's like Augusta's only like Augusta isn't that hard. It would be really hard for me. It's not hard for them.
Right. Right.
But it's also hard to win at Augusta. Like it's not hard to play well. It's hard to win.
Right.
And that's like an important distinction. And like there's also some I mean again, there's also like some goofy shit like just so happens that the 12th hole the wind just blows all directions at all times. Like somehow
Yeah. Yeah.
the longitude and latitude of Augusta, Georgia at the 12th green just so happens to be in like a wind vortex.
Right.
And it's like, how did this happen? Who the fuck knows? Like that just goes into the mystique of that place.
Right. And
But
like the 13th fairway is like a NASCAR bank, right? Like
yeah,
the further you get to, or I'm sorry, the closer you get to Rays Creek, the more it turns into like a NASCAR fucking bank.
Well, it's flatter. Well, yeah, what they say is it's flatter the more risk you take on, it's steeper the safer you play it.
Right.
Unless you come like way back. But like even that doesn't like that's not that hard for these guys. For the like for
right. For
again,
for these
dudes.
guys. Yeah. Yeah.
It would be really difficult for us. But like
it's taking like a fucking baseball swing.
Augusta National's also set up. Like if they wanted to make it hard, that pin on 16 would not be there.
Right.
On Sundays. It's supposed to allow for excitement and bring some people back into it.
Right. It's set up for entertainment.
Yeah, it's supposed to make for a compelling
tournament. On Sunday on 6, where it's in the back right corner up on the shelf. So like the whole green
that's a new pin,
slants
so
right to left and a little bit back to front. But there's one shelf on the back right corner that's probably like 15 feet by 10 feet.
Small,
and
dude.
yeah,
It's fucking
and
small.
that's where they put the pin. Like that's exciting stuff. Like right, like they set that course up for entertainment.
Yeah, but it's also like 4, 5, 6, they kick you in the teeth.
Yeah,
Three on
the fifth
Sunday,
green
on
is
Sunday.
absurd.
Fifth hole is just so fucking hard. They say
Yeah,
10 is hard. I'm like 10 and 11 are hard, and they are, but I think 5 is just crazy.
yeah,
But like 2, you got the funnel pin. 3, you have the short pin, short hole, so you can like go for it, not go for it. Like you can risk reward that all day if you
right,
want to.
right.
I mean, 1's always hard, sneaky hard. But like 7's got that funnel pin. 8, you can sling it back there. 9, the pin is in a good shot on 9 is rewarded, and a bad shot is
Yeah,
fucking dead.
it comes way down.
So it's like, and they also get the benefit though, where they get to have the course every year with unlimited funds, so they can do literally anything they want. Like they're already digging shit up right now. Like someone's posted some
Yeah,
aerials, like
they're building an underground parking garage.
yeah, and like the fifth green, I'm sorry, 15th green's already ripped up, and they're doing some work to the left of the water on 16, which I don't know what the fuck that is. All that is a hill.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah, because they're
so
closed, right? They close
they close until like
from
November.
June to November. The course
Some,
is not open.
oh, they close the week after the event.
Okay, okay, yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
They're closed all summer.
Yeah.
But like a place like Pinehurst doesn't get that luxury. They've held this 4 times in 25 years. That's it. So they don't have every year, each year. They
Right,
can't blow the place up.
right.
Now they're going to play there every 6 years. It's going to be an anchor site now. So maybe we start to see like Pinehurst kind of sort of like make some things here and there, but it's a resort, dude. Like they can't just
Right. It's also
blow it
the
up.
headquarters, right? The new headquarters for
Yeah,
the USGA.
USGA. Um, and then so next year, where are we going? I don't even know. Are we going
Oak
Oakmont?
Hill, Oakmont,
Oakmont.
Oakmont.
Well, Oakmont's got its own things, like different part of the country.
Is that the church pews?
Yep. Um, yeah, like different part of the country, and that's another one.
Is
They
that the one with
said
the square green too? Like the 18th green is a rectangle,
I don't think. I think
or is that Oak Hill?
Winged Foot had all the well. Oak Hill was last year's PGA. That's all. That's another Donnie Ross. Everything's fucking elevated.
Yeah,
Winged Foot usually gets known for the square greens or the rectangle greens. I don't know the 18th at well. I don't think it's a rectangle because the 18th was when DJ hit that 6-iron right over the fucking pin in 2016. I thought I remembered it being like a normal green, but um, not important. But like again, Oakmont's another course where they say, for whatever reason, its direct location creates perfect growing conditions. If it was 30 miles in any other direction, it would not grow the way that it needs to, and they wouldn't be able to have the golf course the way it needs to.
right.
So it creates its own things. I mean, it's outside. It's in Pennsylvania. I don't know what it's outside. Philly, Pittsburgh. Who gives a fuck?
Yeah,
Pennsylvania's huge. Um, so what comes up next year? Like, dudes might not miss short putts next year. They might not, but
right.
like it ain't like Oakmont is not Pinehurst. That's for fucking damn sure. So, um, it's also hard to say because just to be like it's almost like a narcissistic take, right? So if those two are complete chokers, what does that say about everybody else in the field?
Exactly.
And then like there's like Homa and Hovland did not make the cut. Justin Thomas
Right.
shot like 11 over.
Yeah.
What are they if fucking finishers 1 and 2 are bums?
Yeah.
Now don't get me wrong. Like I called Finau a bum the second he finished.
Right.
Oh, another top 5 for Finau without fucking threatening the lead. Pavon, same thing.
Yeah.
Um, but I also think if you want to give somebody the bum title, it would be Roars in this case. Obviously, 1, he lost. 2,
Right.
Bryson hit 5 of 14 fairways. And frankly, was just kind of slapping it everywhere.
Yeah. Yeah. He
And
did not play
then
well on the back.
and
He
Roars missed those 2 shorties, but then at the same time, So bad tee shot, like if you accept bad tee shot, he hit a bad tee shot.
Right.
He got the ball to the bunker. Fine.
Yep.
Hit a great bunker shot and a good putt because I don't think that putt was very difficult, but he hit a
Right.
great bunker shot and a good putt.
Yeah.
Kind of fucking sealed it at the end. So,
Right.
um, did he almost give it away? Yeah, he tried to, but he was also just kind of lurking. And the other thing with this is the other part with the U.S. Open is no one goes on a birdie run. So it's like Roar's making, what do you make, like 3 and 5 holes or something?
Yeah.
Like right around the turn.
Yep.
Like that's not sustainable in a
He
U.S.
went
Open.
back to back 9 and 10.
And then I think he made a par and then like another birdie on 12 or
13.
something.
Yeah.
I think one of them was drivable today. That was also right around when I fell asleep. So, but yeah, it's like it's hard because in a U.S. Open, it used to be a lot about survival. Who can survive this test? Who is
Right.
the last man standing? Not who goes out and gets it. In history, there's been very few times where someone goes and gets it.
Right.
Tiger in '08, Johnny Miller 73, uh, Tom Kite chipped in at Pebble Beach, Jack Nicklaus hit the stick with the 1 iron at Pebble Beach. Like top of my head, like Graham McDowell survived. Roars got a weird that was a weird US Open at Congressional. It was soaking wet. He won by 8. Like he was up by 1 million.
Yeah.
Webb Simpson at Olympic. Pretty sure he just survived that one because Furyk hit a snap hook off the fucking tee. 13 was Marion. Justin Rose. That was legit survival.
Yeah.
Timer in 14. Weird year, dude. Like he won by 8. We talked about it.
Yep.
Spieth. DJ pissed it away. DJ 3-putted from like 12 feet
Yeah.
to lose, not even make a playoff. DJ and Oakmont, like he kind of took it, but he just kind of played solid. Everyone around him puddled.
Yeah.
17 didn't matter. 18 was all survival. That was Shinnecock, Koepka won. Gary Woodland, again, weird year at the Pebble Beach. Like,
Yeah.
you either get like some type of weird year, and I say it's a weird year because like 18 in Shinnecock, that was when, oh, they lost the course. Well, then they made Pebble too easy, and Gary Woodland won with 12 under. He was up by like 3 or something.
Right.
Like, that's not a
Right.
U.S. Open.
Right.
That's the PGA.
Right.
Um. So yeah, I mean, it's odd because we haven't gotten like what used to be real U.S. Opens. There was no, but like, dude, people miss short putts. People 2-chip. People 3-putt. People
Right.
get penalties. Like that's usually the name of the game. And then whoever just takes the punches the best wins it. And truthfully, Bryson took the punches the best this week,
Yeah.
in my opinion,
Yeah.
because he did not win that the way he won Winged Foot, where he at Winged Foot he was significantly way better than everybody.
Right.
This time around, he got punched in the teeth just like everybody else, and
He just survived better.
just survived one shot. I mean, he hit that. I can't even. So this is part of my thought. I can't even fathom how good of a shot that bunker shot was.
Yeah. From
And
like 47 yards out of the bunker.
do you remember Scott Fawcett from Decade?
Yeah.
Do you remember why he got off Twitter?
No.
It was because he told Dan Hicks and Brad Faxon to go fuck each other. So he didn't like the way Dan Hicks was shitting on what Will Zalatoris' putting, because that's obviously his guy, and
Right.
people have their
Right.
criticisms of Scott Fawcett over it, whatever. So he was like lighting up Twitter, and then Brad Faxon was like, Scott, dude, relax. Like Dan Hicks is like one of the best in the world. And he goes, okay, Brad, how about you and Dan go fuck each other? And it was like, and clearly he was fucking annoyed. Clearly he was pissed. I mean, he was probably on his way out of Twitter anyway. But who was in the booth? Brad Faxon, Dan Hicks, and fucking Brandel.
Right.
And Tarico was somewhere else. Bryson hits that shot and you almost get like nothing.
Yeah.
Like nothing from the broadcast. Dude, okay, he's a live golfer. Okay. Nothing for that bunker shot? Are you fucking serious? Brandel just said
It's the hardest shot in golf.
the hardest, whoever said it, whatever quote from whoever,
Yeah.
considers the 55-yard shot, the 50-yard shot, hardest shot in golf. It's 55 yards.
Yeah.
On 18 to win the US Open.
Yep.
After just hitting it off a fucking root, Frankenstein's fat foot. And Dan Hicks, the lead anchor, gives you nothing.
Nothing.
Even Tirico gave you on 17. He gave you Bryson when Bryson hit his approach.
Yeah.
He's like, what a shot by Bryson. It's like Tirico. Tirico's good.
Right.
Dan
I
Hicks,
love
like,
Mike Tirico.
Dan Hicks, like, what are you doing? And it's like,
Yeah.
if you guys want to shit on him, like all the way through, go ahead. Fine. Make fun of him. You know, he's quirky, he's weird. But like, when he steps up and actually fucking does something, how about you give him the fucking credit? Like, it's almost like credit where credit's due and criticism where criticism's due. The
Right.
dude you can criticize that dude all day. He's fucking weird as hell. And when his shit doesn't work, yeah, it's crazy. Like,
Right.
fucking printed his own irons. Like, there's a lot of ammo there.
Right.
And like, I don't know what he's saying in his presser right now, but I'm sure there'll be something. I'm sure he'll give you something that'll be
Yesterday
fucking
was
weird
the
as hell.
salty balls.
Salty balls. Well, so now he's also fully aware of what he's doing. Like, he
Oh,
is fucking
yeah.
trolling people.
Yeah.
But this is the thing, though. Now he gets the press time. He's gonna say something odd. He
Yeah.
always does.
He's just an odd dude.
There's gonna be something weird.
Yeah.
Actually, Scott Fawcett said he was probably on the spectrum. It's like, no, Scott, I think that's you, dude. But like, you're calling golf. That was an insane
Yeah.
approach.
Yeah.
Out of one of the hardest shots. And it's like, fuck you, Dan Hicks. Like, dude, like, what the like, that was such a bomb. I'm sitting there and it's like, I'm usually not like oh my God, did you hear the call on 16 from Vern?
Yeah.
Like, I'm usually not that guy.
Yeah.
But knowing how hard that shot was and watching him execute it to a fucking T, because
Right.
we saw Roar's putt from above the hole, and that did not go well. He left it below the hole. He gave himself like a 4-footer out of that shot after fucking being under a branch next to a root.
Yeah.
And you gave us nothing. Because he's a live guy.
Yeah, I'm all set with Brandel. I hate him a lot, actually. Like, I really, really dislike Brandel a fuck ton. I've been shitting on him on Twitter all weekend because he's just a dick and it's unwarranted, right? Like, people love Bryson. Like, the general population loves Bryson. He's completely, you want to talk about a guy that's revamped his image. 5-6 years ago, he was enemy number one, right? Like, oh, this dude's such a fucking loser. He's annoying. The whole thing between him and Brooks, right? Like, yeah, he's just a dick, right? Like, he sucks. Now he's a fan favorite. He's the best ever. He's done stuff on YouTube. He shows off his goofy side. He likes to have fun. He gives like golf tips and stuff, and people just love him. He's just a good, fun-loving guy, right? Like, people actually enjoy Bryson. Okay, cool. Yeah, he's on the Live Tour. Whatever, dude. But like, the amount of shit talking that Brandel had to him all weekend was absurd. And I mean, not that I'm not important, right? I am no one. But every time I heard something, I put it on Twitter and was like, fuck Brandel. Like, why would you say this? Right? Like, earlier this morning, Bryson, what we found out on Twitter, Bryson had like 4 driver heads with him on the range, right? He was just testing them all out. One of them he took like out of the plastic wrapper. It was brand new, whatever. So the broadcast catches him like changing the driver head on his driver. And what does Brandel Chambly say? He opens his stupid ass fucking mouth and goes, oh yeah, well, you know, that's not a good thing when you see a guy changing his own driver head right before he tees off. My guess is that he probably cracked that driver head from swinging so hard, and now he's got a new one. And, you know, for someone that likes consistency, that's a bad sign for Bryson DeChambeau today. Dude, are you fucking serious? You're making shit up. Because on Twitter, we know that he had 4 different driver heads with him on the tee. You just made up the fact that he just broke he must have broke a driver head. Now he's changing it real quick before he goes out and plays his round. That's a bad sign. Dude, how about you shut the fuck up?
See, that take right there is from like that's the
Yeah.
older
Yeah. There was another
older
shot.
golfer, because when back when he was playing, no, they didn't have the driver heads like that. But yeah, when someone's like tinkering and tweaking, usually it's not a good thing, especially if they're leading a major championship.
Right.
Now, this guy is one of one.
He's a different cat.
Bryson is literally one of one.
He's a different cat.
If Kepka or DJ were fucking around with drivers, or even if Rory
Yeah.
was fucking around with drivers,
Yeah.
yeah, I would probably say the same. No, I wouldn't speculate about why. I would just be like,
Yeah.
not ideal leading into the final round, right?
Yeah.
Because even if it's same make, model, whatever, they're not the same.
Right.
So like Roars has been hitting his driver really, really good. Probably don't want to change that.
Yeah.
But again, fucking one of one over here.
Yeah.
He needs that.
Yeah.
It's almost like if you took like how like introverts, extroverts, right? So
Yeah.
like you have introverts, like if they're sitting in like a room by themselves, like they're good, they're recharging. Extroverts like lose their shit, right?
Yeah.
If Bryson isn't fucking playing around with different fucking equipment and shit, he's probably gonna have a heart attack.
Yeah. Exactly. Exactly.
It's like one of the fucking guys I play with. Like he's fucking nasty, but it's always like he's fucking flipping the bag every 4 seconds and
Yeah.
all these putters. And he offered me a putter grip because he's like, oh well, I put this on 11 of my putters. I probably have like 3 or 4 more left. I'm like, dude, I can buy my own putter grip. And what the fuck? Did you buy 15 of those grips at $30 a pop? Like, what the fuck are we doing here? Like,
And
but
also, you
those
have 11 putters.
just that he switched the grip on.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's like those types of people, like I'm sure like with that dude specifically, I'm sure that like he putts better when he switches the putter out. I don't know what his frequency is.
Yeah. Yeah.
But like if you do it enough, like you're always kind of putting okay.
Yeah.
And then yeah, there's times where like he did something with the driver, didn't like it, so now it's fix that.
Yeah.
But that's the thing with Bryson, like if
He
he's
needs
not
that.
in the lab, quote unquote, in the lab, or like
Yeah.
fucking around with that, or like someone was shitting on him for using the GC quad for putter length. He needs that. Him,
Yeah.
that one guy,
Yes.
no one else,
Right.
just him.
Just him. So the other comment that dumbass Chambly was making was there. I forget what hole it was, but he was setting up trying to hit a draw, and he got the dreaded straight ball, right, and it just went straight. Happens to guys on the tour
All the time.
all the time. All the time it happens. It's a very frequent thing, right? Guys try and set up to hit a fade, and they either they yank it straight left, right? Or guys try and hit a draw and it goes dead straight and it hangs out to the right. All the time, very frequent. Nope. So Brandel Chambly in the booth, that happens to Bryson. He goes, well, Bryson does have that bulge on his irons there, so that's probably why he can't hit a draw, because he made those so that it would go straighter. And I'm
Yeah.
like,
I also
like,
I'm no engineer.
but also,
also
you think Bryson DeChambeau is incapable of hitting a draw, regardless of
That's
the
all he
makeup
has.
of his clubs, right? Like, oh well,
I
he made those himself so they would go straight. I don't know why he would try and hit a draw. You're a dick. You're just a dick. You're an old, white, grumpy fucking golf loser. You are the problem with the sport of golf.
Also, if you want to know why Bryson's an unrelatable weirdo right now, I got live from on. I can't hear anything. He is sitting in the bunker that he hit the shot out of. Squatting, to be fair.
Yeah.
I guess if I'm gonna describe a
Yeah.
scene, I should use better words. So he is currently squatting in the bunker, taking pictures. He's raking the bunker because he walked over to get the rake. No one's playing this golf course again today. You don't need to rake the bunker. Tournament's over.
Yeah.
Still raking it.
Yeah.
And he's taking sand from the bunker and putting it in the trophy.
One of one.
One of one, dude. Like this dude is nuts. So if you really want to hate Brandel and hate No Laying Up, specifically Solly, because Solly interviewed him, there was a No Laying Up podcast where I listened to the two of them. They both sound like such idiots. It's
Yeah.
so bad, dude. Like, because Brandel actually makes good points, but he's Brandel. So it's
Right.
like, no, Walt. It's like, am I wrong? No, Walter, you're just an asshole. Like, that's sort of what it is. It's like, no, you're right, but like, God, this conversation sucks, dude.
Yeah.
It
Yeah.
sucks so bad.
Right.
And I don't think Solly was prepared. I think Brandel kind of owned him on like the takes and the facts and the stats and the stuff like that. But like, I didn't leave that interview going, wow, you know what? I think differently about Brandel. I mean, I think a little bit differently about Brandel, but I still think he's a fucking tool.
Right. Right.
At least I think so. I think he's a tool. I think he's an educated tool. So
Yeah, that's fair.
but that actually hurts his character
Makes him
because he
look
knows
worse.
what he's talking about and chooses to not use that information or to chooses to still be a dick.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah.
So if you really want to, yeah, I would say if you really want to fucking use some time that you can never have back, listen to that interview. That was awful
Yeah.
from
So
both sides.
the other the one last thing about golf, and then if you have anything else we can certainly cover, but we can also move on. Is one, say what you want about Bryson. He's a weirdo, like you say, he's taking sand from the bunker and putting it in the trophy, whatever. Like, so me personally, I like that stuff. I like goofy weirdos. I like people with personality. I like athletes that
Doing
are
fucking
fun.
Shoffley.
Right. Yeah, exactly. Better than Xander Schauffele. 1000%, right? That guy wins. And again, I'm not saying like I don't want them to win.
He's hugging the
Obviously,
fucking trophy as he's walking
right.
away with it. Like,
Xander Schauffele is one of the most talented golfers in the world, right? Like
yep.
he's top three, right? It's Scotty, Rory, Xander. Like those are your three.
Tour.
Yeah, on the PGA Tour. Yeah, that's fair. But those are your best three golfers, like basically on the planet, right? So sure, yeah, it's not that I don't like Xander winning because I don't like him. He's just vanilla. He is vanilla ice cream, right?
The
Like
worst
he's
part.
just.
So here's the worst part about it. When he does Bob Does Sports, he's a shit talker. He's a
Yeah,
ball buster. He's pretty funny.
yeah,
But
but he
when it's
doesn't show
PGA
it
Tour time, it's
exactly.
like,
Yeah,
hey, I'm
yeah,
corporate.
yeah.
I'm corporate. I'm about that dollar.
So I like Bryson. I've always liked Bryson. I've always liked Brooks Koepka. Like I like the guys that are
They give you something.
personalities, right? Like,
And that's the thing. They give you something. You don't have to
right.
like it. Like you don't have to like Kepka,
And
but he
that's why
gives you something.
being a New England Patriots fan for so long, after so long, like I know you and I, and some of our friends, right? Certainly not Vinny because he's a fucking bobo, but I respect that about Vinny. Like, people like you and I and Jones, by the end, we were like, dude, I don't want to hear it anymore, right? Like Belichick is like, like I don't care, right? By the end of it, Brady was like, yeah, well, it's like this, and it is, and it is what it is, and best for the team. And dude, I don't care, right? Like, meanwhile, you got guys like Terrell Owens running around being like, dumping out popcorn and being like, that's my quarterback, man. And like Randy Moss, like just I like guys with personality. I like athletes that have personality. I don't like athletes that are losers, right? They're just lame because
But
it's a
the thing
sport.
is,
I want to be entertained. Like entertain me.
I
That's all
can
I want.
also I can also get behind a guy that's just a killer. Like
Yeah,
DJ's
that too.
DJ, like peak DJ was just a killer.
Right. And
Like
Tiger.
he didn't give you anything.
Like Tiger never really gave you much, but
Well, he
he
didn't
was
give
a
you
killer.
much, but he really liked fucking sleep medication and fucking
Well,
women.
yeah,
But
yeah, yeah.
that's the thing. Like I can also again a killer, a
Right,
legit like a real killer. I
right.
can appreciate that.
Like a Tom Brady, right? Like you knew,
Yes.
like Tom Brady again was not going to really give you a soundbite, but you knew in the fourth quarter, down by 9, he was somehow going to find a way to score
Yeah.
11 points, right? Like
And
it's just
Peyton Manning did all the commercials, not a killer.
right. Yeah, and I like Peyton Manning. I like Peyton
What's there?
Manning.
What is there not to?
Yeah, he's a good guy,
Honestly.
right? He's funny, right? Like he's got a great personality. I like Peyton Manning.
Yeah.
So, whatever. And so all that aside, right? All of that stuff aside, right? My personal feelings about Bryson, whatever. It's a really cool story. Like if you don't know the story behind Bryson and Payne Stewart, um, it's a really cool storyline. So like again, if you're not going to root for the guy because of his personality or whatever, at least like root for the storyline, because just a quick little, synopsis for anyone that doesn't know. Payne Stewart was a fantastic golfer in the 90s. And he won.
When he won in '99. I didn't
Yeah.
realize how old he was. He was like
Yeah.
46.
Yeah. So 80s and 90s. He was
Yeah, yeah. Like
fantastic.
he won another major. So I think he
Yeah.
won 3. I think it was like 90, 91.
And
I mean, he
99.
died in '99, unfortunately, and he
Yeah.
finished
Yeah.
second in '98. So it's
Right.
like 90s is very accurate, but
Right.
I didn't realize how old he was then.
So Payne Stewart, a fantastic goal. Like you just said, 3-time major winner. He won at Pinehurst 25 years ago. So in 1999, it was the 25th anniversary of his win. For anyone that doesn't know, Payne Stewart died in a plane crash shortly after he won the U.S. Open. So he died in 1999. He went to Southern Methodist University, SMU, go Mustangs, right? Onward, mighty Mustangs. And the story behind Bryson DeChambeau was that when he was in high school, he went to go look at some colleges and he went to SMU for a visit and he didn't realize that Payne Stewart went there, right? So this is the time, like, it's Payne Stewart is huge, right? It was shortly after he died. So, he goes in, he goes, oh shit, Payne Stewart went here, gets to learn a little bit more, whatever. He goes to SMU. He becomes a huge fan of Payne Stewart, kind of like idolizes him, to the fact that I never knew this. When this was another thing that talk about dumb shit, why people don't like athletes. People used to shit on Bryson all the time before he went to live. One of the reasons was because he wore a scally cap when he was on the golf course, right? Everyone else is wearing a baseball hat. Bryson's out there wearing a scally cap. Everyone's like, oh, what do you think? You're old Tom Morris? Or all this like, oh, yeah, oh, you're wearing a scally cap on the golf course. What a douchebag. Okay, well, come to find out, he wore a scally cap when he played in homage to Payne Stewart, because Payne Stewart wore a scally cap in the 80s and 90s when he played, and they both went to SMU. Bryson was a huge fan. He idolized him, whatever. So his, like, no pun intended, tip of the cap to Payne was to wear the scally cap when he turned pro. So he wore it in college too, but that was his thing. So now you have the 25th anniversary of Payne Stewart's last major win at the US Open at Pinehurst. It was also at Pinehurst, this exact course. And Bryson DeChambeau wins. Like, and he's got the Payne Stewart button on the back of his hat. That's pretty cool, right? Like he wore he had the scally cap tied to his golf bag too. Like again, in homage or homage, whatever the fuck, however the fuck you pronounce it, to Payne Stewart. So again, if you don't like the guy, whatever, but that's a pretty cool story, right? On the 25th anniversary of his last major win at the exact same golf course, your idol, right? You win that tournament. It's pretty fucking cool.
So Taylor two guys, right? Now, obviously, one won and one lost.
Right.
So, couple posts. Foreplay grabbed both of these. Uh, and I actually heard about this before the round, but I think Bryson's father died in 2022.
He did.
Did you
Yeah.
hear about that? Yeah, I think it was
Yeah.
2022. So obviously he won his first US Open. His father died in 2022. So, uh, you know, mention that before the round, mention that after the round.
That's right.
Like,
That's true. So there's another storyline, right? His dad died a couple of years ago. He wins on Father's Day, right? He
yep.
says
Which
he
that's when the
says to
US
one of the
Open always
reporters
is.
before the round, "I'm going to be thinking about my dad on every hole today."
Yeah.
Like, it's pretty fucking cool, man.
And then there's a video of him like I think the gate barriers are like they have to still be up or else you'd be getting mobbed. He said, I want every fan to touch the trophy. He is like in the fucking like he's like not in the crowd, but like
Yeah.
Foreplay's tweet was Bryson said he wants every fan to touch the trophy. He wasn't kidding. Like, dude, he is like right there
Yeah.
with these people, like whatever. So then Tron from No Laying Up, which hey, credit to him. I mean, he calls it as he sees it. So despite I actually fucking don't like what half of what he has to say. He has never fucking given a take that he didn't actually believe in. So whatever. He goes, this might be a bigger bummer than anything else. Chicken shit move. Because I crushed Lexi for not doing media at Olympic and hightailing it out of the parking lot in full view is even worse. Brutal. Roars. Backing out. See you later. Off to Connecticut.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, I mean, he didn't even do media. Like, dude, you've won 4 times in 20 whatever time. Like, dude, you can't do a media session. Yeah, it sucks.
Right.
But that like so here's the thing, right? Because a lot of people hate Rory McIlroy,
Right.
myself included. If he won, I would have respected him. I wouldn't have been thrilled because he at least is deserving of
Right.
winning majors and winning tournaments. And
Right.
he is that good. But it's this type of shit. It's fucking he flip-flops on everything. He's always got to come out on top. Can't even close a divorce. And then dude, you have a Hall of Fame career and you can't do media because you missed 2 short putts. People may have like so now everyone that hates you fucking hates you even more. People that like you are going to look at this and go, it's not a good look.
Yeah.
Whereas had you got up on that podium and answered a couple questions truthfully, and like all you have to say is like, hey, Rory, talk us through it. It's like, hey, those were short putts. You have to hit those if you want to win championships. Um, I didn't hit good enough putts to win today. And
Yeah.
you know what? I'm pretty gutted about that because we know you are. Like,
Right.
dude, that sucks.
Right.
It's like, I'm real like this one stings. Like this one hurts.
Yeah.
Like just say that. It's true. We know
Right.
it.
Right. Right. Shit, like go up on the podium and cry if you want to, right? Like
Yeah,
it's a different.
don't do that.
Well, yeah, no, yeah, I know, but I'm just saying, like, it's a different world today for fans than it is 20, 30 years ago. I think, again, you see this with Bryson. Fans today appreciate people that are real, right? Like, if you're going to be the guy that loses and walks right past the media, gets in the car and drives away, people are going to be like, what's your fucking problem? Right? Like, I think that's one of the things that comes from living in the time of social media, right? Is that people have like insights into everyone's life all the time, and like now, like that's kind of cool, right? Because you learn that yeah, they're athletes, they're megastars, they're celebrities, but they're real people, right? They're people just like you and me. And would you get a guy like Bryson that takes the trophy into the crowd so that every fan can touch it? That's pretty cool, right? And then you have someone like Rory who blows off everybody as he walks by, gets in the back of a car and drives away and doesn't say a word to anyone. People are like, come on, man, like that's shitty, right? Like,
And that's the thing because you finished second and you missed 2 short putts.
Right. Right.
You didn't shoot 11 fucking over and was out of it by 11:30 a.m. on Friday.
Exactly. Yeah.
You want to back out and leave? Please do.
Yeah.
Probably have to hop on your private jet to get back to Jupiter,
Right.
wherever the fuck he lives now.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, you had a shot. You
Just a
were a
bitch
co-leader
move.
at some point. Just sit there and answer two questions, right? Take two questions, say like, yeah,
With
man,
this,
this
get in
really
front of a
sucks, and
camera
then leave.
if you really don't want to answer the questions, because now don't get me wrong, the questions would suck.
Yeah, for sure.
Like, oh, what was going through your head on one of those putts?
Yeah.
Well, what was going through my head was that hopefully I would hit a good putt and fucking make it.
Yeah. Yeah.
No, get in front of a camera, go. I'm just gonna give it to you. I'm gonna give it to you straight out. I'm not gonna take any questions, but I'm gonna give you where I'm at right now.
Right.
And frankly, it fucking sucks. Like, I'm gutted. Like, I really thought I had a chance to win. It's been a long time since I've won. Um, you know, those are putts. They have to go in. And generally they do. And they didn't today. And
Right.
that's why I'm in second and someone else won the golf tournament.
Yeah.
Period.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not gonna take any questions. Thank you. I mean, again, it's right here.
Right. Right.
There's your happy medium.
So, well, that being said, you want to wrap this up because we got to do two of these
Next, we gotta
things.
do two. I think I need to talk about golf still, which is very topical. Okay. Similar but different. Uh, John Peterson. Now, you may not know who John Peterson is,
Yeah, I do not.
but John Peterson has mentioned that probably at this point it's 8 days. He's 8 days away from gaining amateur status back. John Peterson won the 2011 NCAA Individual Championship. John Peterson finished in the top 10 at the 2012 US Open as a pro. John Peterson was the Corn Ferry Tour playoff money winner back in like probably 2012, 2011, something like that. He didn't quite play 5 full seasons on the PGA Tour, but he played on the PGA Tour.
Right.
He has gained amateur status back. And he is eligible to play USAM, USAM 4-ball, US Mid-Am, fucking member guest. Like, he's eligible to play in it all. So, my thing to you, to all of you, this needs to change. And there's a couple things. So when I did like US Mid-Am qualifying last year, the Mid-Am is supposed to be like the spirit of the Mid-Am is supposed to be for the regular dudes that are amateurs. The USAM, well, that includes the college kids. There's going to be some future pros in there.
Right.
So those fields are really good, and some of that's not really a fair fight because it's just like the next up.
Right.
Okay, so that's for like regular dudes. But now it's like anybody can just turn pro and then fucking regain their amateur status, and now they're fucking mid-ams. And it's like fine, but like I don't like it just seems now like these days it's just too easy to turn pro, not like do very well,
Yeah.
and then turn around and regain your amateur status because there's always it depends on how long you've been pro, how much money you've earned, what level you played at, like all that type of shit. Like John Peterson probably waited fucking 3 years, like to be completely honest.
Right.
But there are dudes that play and then like I just saw a guy. He's regaining his amateur status. Like he was a nails amateur, turned pro, did it for like a year and a half, and now he's gonna regain status. It's like, what the fuck is going on here?
Yeah.
And it kind of reminds me of the parallels with uh like the transfer portal in college. It's like
Okay.
there's
Yeah.
no like you make a decision to play at a school, you make a decision to turn pro, and then you just reverse your decision. You just flip flop. Like there's no
Yeah.
consequence for that.
Right.
Like there used to be a consequence. Now it's like, oh, I'm gonna make a risky decision and I'll just bail.
Yeah.
And it seems like there's like too much of that. And obviously it affects me because, you know, if I want to do some of these amateur events, I got no fucking chance. Like I have no fucking chance in a
Right.
mass amateur. And I barely have a chance in a mass mid-am. And I mean, even to make the fucking tournament, dude, like
Yeah. Yeah.
it's fucking crazy. And it's like, if you just let everybody can just turn pro and then turn back, like what the fuck is amateur golf anyway?
Right.
Like there are dudes that got effectively banned for fucking life because like they worked at like a car dealership, played golf, and then like somehow like blurred the lines of like the amateur rules. Harvey Ward is a very similar situation to that. Yet John Peterson, I don't know how many millions of dollars he won on the PGA Tour. And if I was good enough to get into like the US four ball, I might have to play him. Like what the fuck is happening here?
Yeah. Yeah. That's kind of
I saw that
ridiculous.
the other day and it's like I don't know. It's just shitty. Like and
Yeah.
I wish there was something you could do about it, but there's nothing you can do about it because that is what ends up making sure that in today's day and age, that's what ends up making sure like the fields are all full and competitive.
Right. Right.
So,
Yeah. That's lame.
yep, don't love it.
Um, all right. So my final thought is I went to I had to go to a new dentist the other day because the one in Mansfield stopped taking my insurance, which was fun when I went to the dentist back in December and then I got a bill for like $80 afterwards. And I was like, I just went for a cleaning. They were like, yeah, well, it turns out your insurance didn't cover all of it. I was like, what do you mean my insurance doesn't cover it? And I went and they looked and they go, oh, we stopped taking your insurance. And I was like, were you going to tell me? Like, I received no notice that
Should be on
between
you.
my previous cleaning in like June of 2023 or May of 2023 till December of 2023, no notice that you no longer take my insurance. So whatever, it was only $80. So I paid the $80. And then was like, I gotta find a new dentist. And then like a couple weeks ago, I get a reminder email being like, oh, don't forget, you have an upcoming dentist appointment. And I was like, fuck, I gotta cancel that. So I called and I canceled. And then I called a spot in North Attleboro that's like 5 minutes from my house that I actually found through my insurance app, right? I have United Healthcare. Like I went on the app, found someone there in North Attleboro. So I know for a fact they take my insurance. And I call on like a Monday and they took me on Friday. They were like, yeah, sure. Can you come in Friday at like 9:45? And I was like, yeah, sure, no problem. Whatever. So I go in and whatever, it takes a little while because I have to fill out paperwork and then I had to like sit there for a bit. So I'm like not thrilled right in your first impression. I had a 9:45 appointment and it was like 10:15 and I'm like still sitting there, whatever. But regardless, they call me in, I sit down. I had the first time in my life, I actually had a male dental hygienist and he was fantastic, dude. Like he was like the most meticulous, like soft handed. And I don't mean like his hands were physically soft. I mean like he wasn't like stabbing my gums and like making me bleed and like making me feel like my teeth were going to get ripped out. He was like the most fantastic person that's ever cleaned my teeth ever in 30 years. So at one point, like I told him that and I was like, this is going to sound really weird, but like I've been going to the dentist for like 30 years now, basically. And you are by far the best hygienist I've ever had. I was like, I barely even knew you were flossing my teeth. Like, I'm not like bleeding. You're not scratching me. Like, bravo, man. Like, I just want to say, like, I appreciate that. And he was like, oh, like, thank you. Like, you know, I try really hard to make sure that my patients are comfortable and like was all that bullshit. And I was like, all right, maybe he's got a little bit of sugar in his tank. Maybe he thinks I'm hitting on him. And I'm like, I feel like I might have made a mistake. But regardless, he's good. He goes through, cleans my teeth, no problem, all that shit. Um, the dentist comes in and goes, "Oh, it looks like you have a cavity." And I was like, "Get the fuck out of here." I was like, "I haven't had a cavity in like 15 years." And she was like, "Yep, nope, it's right here." And I was like, in my head, I go, "It's because I'm the new guy, right? You trying to squeeze some money out of the new guy, right? Like, oh, he's a new patient. Let's tell him he has a cavity, so we have to fill it or whatever." And she goes, "No, no, it's right here on the side of your tooth." She goes, "It didn't show up in the X-rays. It's super small." She was like, "You could come in. It'll take 20 minutes. You'll be in and out." She was like, "I don't even care when you come in to do it, right? Because it's that small. I'm not worried about it." So in my head, it's just reinforcing like, do I actually have a fucking cavity? Like if I go get a second opinion, which I'm not, right? Like there's no such thing as a second opinion when it comes to dentistry, right? Like that doesn't happen. So I'm like, all right, well, I guess I have to schedule an appointment to get a cavity filled. And she goes, "Well, it looks like it's a spot that was a cavity before. So it's just old, right? Like it's an old cavity that maybe like the filling just kind of wore out." And I go, "I guess that makes sense because I haven't had one in like at least 15 years." So she was like, "All right, whatever." So I book a appointment at like the end of July to go get a cavity filled. And I go, "What's the earliest that you can take me?" They were like, "Well, we open at 8 o'clock." And I was like, "Can you do 8 o'clock?" And they were like, "Yeah, sure." And I'm like, "Perfect." So I'll be home before 8:45. Fantastic. Um, so part of the whole shtick, like this is why I bring it up. So I go through whatever. That's fine. I get the appointment, whatever. Fantastic dental hygienist. He tells me before I leave, he goes, "Oh, we have like an adult like toy chest basically for you when you leave." And I'm like, I laugh and I go, "Yeah, okay, whatever, man. Like, go fucking do whatever." Like I say, he's a little light in the loafers. So I go to the receptionist and she goes, "Oh, come with me." She like takes me around the desk and there's like a big cabinet and she literally opens up this cabinet and there's like adult prizes, right? Like there's like a bunch of like Burt's Bees like gift set like lip balm and shit. There's like some facial product whatever. There's like four or five other things and then I look at the bottom, there's a giant basket full of wine bottles. So I go, "Is that wine?" She's like, "Yeah." So I like pull it out and I go, "Is this your own wine?" So what they did was it's 19 crimes, right? That wine, but they got it private labeled where it's 19 smiles and it's a picture of the dentist on the bottle who like owns the practice. And I'm like, that's pretty fucking corny, but like I'm just gonna take a bottle of wine.
Yeah, free
So
wine is free
so
wine.
I got free wine, right? I was like, I'm not gonna take a Burt's Bees gift set. What am I gonna do with 17 chapsticks and face cream and all that shit? I'm just gonna take a bottle of wine. So my new dentist just gave me a bottle of wine, which is like kind of hilarious because wine like typically sometimes wine can stain people's teeth and do the whole thing. I laughed because I was like, that's kind of like Planet Fitness getting pizza on the first Wednesday of every month for its gym goers, right? Like it's just, oh, here's a bottle of wine. So I'm like, all right,
At least it
whatever.
wasn't a bag of fucking Werther's.
Yeah, true. Yeah, or just rock candy.
In
What is it? A
Coke.
never ending jawbreaker, gobstopper,
Yeah.
whatever the fuck they're called. So yeah, my new dentist was great. The hygienist was great, and they gave me a bottle of wine. So shout out to 508 Dentistry in North Attleboro. So that's gonna do it for us for the first episode. We'll be back in a couple minutes, but a few days for you. Thank you for watching. If you're on YouTube, don't forget to click subscribe up above, hit the thumbs up down below. If you're audio only guy, subscribe as well. Leave us 5 stars on iTunes and Spotify. You can get us on Instagram at Sarcasm Speaks. Sarcasm Speaks Pod. Sorry. Twitter is Sarcasm_speaks. Facebook is Sarcasm Speaks. The website, sarcasmspeaks.com. Check out the show notes below, and you can get some cool products, promo codes, deals, all kinds of fun shit down there. So support those guys, support us. And until next time, good night, everybody.